Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief with me, Rolene, where we check in with each other every Monday to Thursday to take a look at the top stories making headlines in Israel. Now, just a reminder, tomorrow is Thursday, so if you have your nominations for Mensch and Moron, or Menches and Morons of the week, please get them through to me. There's quite a lot for the morons. How about sending me some mentions, guys? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, a reminder that if you have a question that you would like answered on air, please be in touch with us via our website or via our social media. Now, today is day 656 since the 7th of October. And as we say every single day, we will not stop reminding the world that there are still 50 hostages being held captive in the absolute hell of Gaza. This doesn't mean that we in Israel aren't concerned about the humanitarian situation for civilians in Gaza. We are very, very concerned. And the simple solution to all of it would be to release the hostages immediately. So this brings me to our top story, and that is, what is the latest on hostage negotiations? Now, earlier today, a Saudi publication called Al Hadath, they had publicized that both sides had overcome most of the obstacles, most of the issues, and that one of the big sticking issues was how many Palestinian prisoners would be exchanged for hostages. Now, no Israeli official has commented, but we do know that a meeting has been set in Rome between the special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, and members of the Qatari and Israeli teams. And if this meeting goes well, then Witkoff will fly to Doha in Qatar to seal the deal. However, Axios is reporting, and this is reported a short while ago, they reported that the meeting last night in Doha between Qatari and Egyptian mediators and Hamas ended without results, according to a source that is familiar with the talks. The report goes on to say that Qatar and Egypt reject Hamas's response, calling it unsatisfactory and demanding a better one today. They said that Hamas is wasting time. Now, I want to ask you a question. You see in your media, on social media, and on marches across cities around the world, accusations accusing Israel of genocide. If Israel was committing a genocide of the people of Gaza, wouldn't you want to end it as quickly as possible? And yet Hamas, who rule over the Gaza Strip, are prepared to sacrifice as many of their civilians as humanly possible, and who keep turning down successive ceasefire deals, but yet still accuse Israel of genocide, a fact that men in the West are just falling for routinely. Wouldn't Hamas be the ones responsible for a genocide in the Gaza Strip? Just saying. Moving on to our second story, and here I'm going to get a little bit heated as well. And it's not just the weather, which is frizzing my hair and making me very hot under the collar. It is the unbelievable hypocrisy. So Human Rights Watch, which is a so-called human rights NGO or non-governmental organization, they have called for an investigation into Houthi strikes on cargo ships in the Red Sea. Now, the Houthis struck 2 cargo ships in the last couple of weeks. They say were heading towards Israel or had Israeli interests, and we know that at least 4 were killed and several others rescued by the Houthis. Read that to be kidnapped and their whereabouts unknown. Well, Human Rights Watch have called this a violation of the laws of war and a clear war crime, and have called for an investigation into that. Now, you guys know, because I tell you on a near weekly basis, in fact some weeks on a near daily basis, that we in Israel, we civilians, have been the targets of ballistic missile and drone attacks, hundreds of them since the 7th of October by Iranian-backed Houthis. In fact, one as recent as 5:30 yesterday morning, sending all of us into our shelters. I'm a civilian, so are millions of other Israelis, and yet Human Rights Watch seem to have forgotten that targeting civilians with drones and ballistic missiles with the intention of murdering us and committing a genocide is also a war crime and a clear violation of the laws of armed conflict or the laws of war. So where's the investigation into that? Guys, the next time someone from Human Rights Watch solicits you for a donation, tell them exactly where they can go. And while you're at it, you might want to share the same warning to Amnesty International, who have called for Israel to be investigated for the striking of the notorious Evin prison in Tehran during last month's Operation Rising Lion. Now, the strike blew open the doors of Evin prison. Evin prison holding anybody prisoner who has dissented from the Iranian regime. This includes women, this includes young people who have refused to wear the hijab or called for the end of the regime. Notably missing from Amnesty International, who I wonder if they are still fit for purpose. The short answer from me would be no, is an investigation into the war crimes committed by the Iranian regime, who deliberately struck civilian infrastructure in Israel, including the Weizmann Institute, where life-saving cancer research was going on, daycares and kindergartens, old age care facilities, civilian residences, which resulted in the death of 29, businesses, civilian infrastructure of a variety of different sorts. 33,000, to be quite honest with you. 33,000 buildings in Israel were damaged as a result of Iranian ballistic missiles on our civilian centers. Amnesty International, that is a clear violation of the laws of armed conflict, because a creche or a kindergarten and a cancer research institute and an old age care facility and someone's pizza shop is not a legitimate military target. So you are no longer fit for purpose. So I'm going to come off my soapbox a little bit to tell you about our Foreign Minister Gadot Sar, who is in Ukraine on his first visit to Kyiv, the capital. Earlier today, he held a joint press conference with his Ukrainian counterpart. They spoke about how they are opening talks, strategic talks on how to deal with the Iranian threat. Now, Sar took a swipe at Putin when he said that Israel had struck military targets in the Iranian regime, who were responsible for sending those deadly drones to Russia that were used to strike Iranian targets. The foreign minister also met with Artem Borik. He is a Ukrainian, made to serve in the Ukrainian army. His wife and daughter, who was in Israel to receive life-saving chemotherapy and cancer care, were killed when an Iranian ballistic missile struck the apartment building where they lived during Operation Rising Lion last month. And finally, our own Wonder Woman, and I'll never get tired of calling her that, Gadot, met for a private and very emotional conversation yesterday with several of the former female hostages that included Liri Albag, Doron Steinbrecher, Moran Stella Yanai, Naama Levy, and Ilana Grotevsky. And they shared with her some of the stories from captivity and also thanked her for everything that she has done and is continuing to do to fight for our hostages to come home. Now, what many of you don't know, Gal Gadot was also a major backer of the Dina Project report into the crimes of sexual violence that were committed against Israelis, not just women and girls, but also men, on the 7th of October and in captivity. She also hosted a screening of the 43 or 47 minute long body cam footage of the atrocities, and has been a vocal advocate against anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. And she's more than just a Wonder Woman, she is our queen, our Gal Gadot. So finally, let's get to the audience question of the day, and it comes from Joan in Israel, who says, when does this end? And Joan, I really wish I had an answer for you. This is a question I get asked on a near daily basis. When and how does this end? And I think this is the $1 million question we all would like an answer to. And unfortunately, I don't have one. But I know that an easy end to all of this would be if Hamas surrendered and handed back all 50 of our hostages and gave the people of Gaza and the people of Israel a better chance at a peaceful future. So guys, that's it from me for today. Don't forget to get those mentions, the great people and the morons, pretty self-explanatory, through to me before tomorrow. In the meantime, please check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. A reminder, if you like this content, please hit that subscribe button and help us get as many subscribers as possible. The more subscribers we get, the more the algorithm picks up our content. We are on Facebook at Lottel Site. You can like, share, follow us there. We are on Instagram at Rolene_Marks, on LinkedIn at Rolene Marks. If you want to join my business network, go for it. And we are on X at Lay of the Land 5. So guys, God bless you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.